Another question that we've had is, okay, God, what was his beginning? One person put it, who created God?
So, neat question. I'm trying to figure out what's behind that, because it just feels like a never-ending sort of scene. So I would say that's a category mistake. We have this sense of cause and effect. Something comes from original mover, original cause, and yet we want to keep applying it. And so if we say category error, that means that God's above these kinds of questions. God's above needing to be caused. He's beyond needing to be moved. And that would be by definition a different category. C.S. Lewis, guy that's way smarter than me, he explains that question. He said, we've made this category mistake. And it's not like we relate to God like, say, William Shakespeare's neighbor related to Shakespeare. Upstairs, downstairs. We're in the same category. We're both tenants, but you just live in a different spot. He's saying we relate to God like Hamlet relates to Shakespeare. That Hamlet's written into the script by Shakespeare. Shakespeare's a genius that allows Hamlet to live and actually take shape. And so the only way that Hamlet has any understanding, if this is even a thing for Hamlet, is for Shakespeare to write himself into the script, which is exactly where you were going, which is exactly what God has done with Jesus. This is the amazing thing for me. If I could know God, wouldn't that be, and I think this is what people have wanted all along, and Jesus is like, here it comes. If I want to know what God is like, I don't have to look anywhere beyond best place to start, best place to finish is Jesus. And so we will push, Matthew and Mark and Luke and John at someone and say, read about him. Listen to what he says, watch what he does, and see how much he loves you, how much he loves people in these stories. So, neat question. I think Lewis started that whole thing about category mistakes because he was listening to a newscast back in his day before the Americans walked on the moon. The Russians were actually the first into space. And when the Russian cosmonaut who was in the space shuttle or whatever it was, rocket ship, got into outer space, he said, "There is no God up here. Just saying, we're first here, there is no God." And that's when Lewis said, you've made a category mistake. It's not like God's upstairs and we're downstairs. This is a whole different, not creature, but creator.